Greetings to you. My name's Philip Daniel Miles. You are appreciated. Thank you for your presence. Today we are here and the moon is in Pisces at 2 degrees. We're waxing towards a full moon. In fact, you could say that moon's carrying a lot of weight. Are you feeling it? Thank you for being with you. Thank you for holding a space for you. Thank you for holding as much compassion as you possibly can for your own self now, because this is the opportunity to really perceive what it is to have that Pisces energy. Pisces is devoted to holding space for other people, for making other people feel compassion. Compassion being more than love. Love, well, it's kind of divisive, you know, it's between two people. It's like tearing a tug of war. It's my heart, it's your heart. But compassion, it sympathizes. It gets out of the way of the individual self and it becomes more about the other. So much to the self, so much to the degree, sometimes it can be self-sacrificing. We can put others beyond ourselves. We can put the collective cause beyond ourselves to the degree that actually we lose ourselves. But we're here to do exactly that. We're here within the atmosphere to finally find the opportunity to see that we lose ourselves within love. This is a depth of immersement which we come into when recognizing we are of all things. We are the source. And this is an opportunity to love ourselves from a multitude of different angles. Yes, because if you are one spark, the individual, are you not? Just a peephole for the divine, one reference point. You've got a body, you're in your body. This central space, this hub of who you are, we're grateful for our bodies. I wouldn't be able to do this video without my body. And so I'm grateful you've got a body because they give you a couple of eyes, give you some hands, give you all kinds of different things. They give you the ability to work with your crafts, work with your time, work with your space, with the embodiment of who you are, which is a sound, a vibration, a frequency, which is so powerful. It is actually all of creation. So recognize yourself. Recognize yourself from this angle, from that angle. It's about omnipresence. Omnipresence, where you recognize the gifts in that person. It might be different from what they are from you, from who you are. The gifts from this other person, it could be really different from how you are. The gifts from this other nationality, from this other gender, from this other sexuality, from this other person who's got a complete different agenda to what you have, you can relate to. You can correspond to. You're able to have more compassion. You can actually find that the more that we have these different reference points, even the ones that maybe we wouldn't choose, if we can have compassion for them, we're able to add a capacity to the amount of expansion that's within our own heart. We can actually recognize ourselves from various different parts of the cosmos, and we can have compassion. We can accept ourselves, and that's true love. So thank you for opening. Thank you for feeling so much love. There's so many different facets for us to gaze around us. But when we can gaze into us as well and recognize that we are worthy of receiving love, we recognize that we're worthy of seeding love with our own attention, then you can find that you will overflow with that good stuff. Because you're full of it. We're infinite resources of the love. And this is what we're recognizing we have the opportunity to nurse within this garden, which is a nursery, which is a playground. It's an opportunity. They call it a university. I say this university, this school, like Pisces, is what they call a whole kettle of fish, is like a school of fish. They swim in formation. You're learning from the people to the left. You're learning from the people to the right. Sometimes the people from the left and the right, they support the people in the middle. And sometimes the flankers, they go off and they change their form. It's a bit like those birds. They fly in a swarm. Or is it a gaggle? I'm just having a giggle. There's all kinds of different names for how different animals congregate. But if we can remember that we are also here within the physical world, spiritual beings inhabiting physical bodies, how can we support each other within this endeavor? How can we help each other grow? How can we make sure one another feel recognized, feel the love that which they are, feel that they're part of tribe, feel that they're not excluded? Yet sometimes we need to find boundaries. We need to find that some things are for exclusion, and that is even a way of showing love. That's even a way of showing compassion, even to self, to exclude oneself from saying, hey, I just can't do that anymore. That pattern, that routine, that way of thinking, it doesn't make me feel so keen. I need to exclude it from myself, just like that other relationship with somebody who is so near and dear, whether it's a lover, some other, it could even be a family member that we need the opportunity to exclude, and that shows them love and us too. The heart-wrenching nature of all-inclusive love, that sometimes it means separation, and that means more love. And so this is a whole multifaceted different way to see crystal diamond consciousness. Your soul, the fire within you, that is pure crystalline consciousness. And what we're doing is refining our diamond awareness, refining the frequency. This is the temple where diamonds are made. And you are refining the awareness of the crystallization of who you are, which is a frequency which can't be repeated. You're once in a lifetime, once in a creation, once in a flash. God gosh darn, you're here to recreate who you are. So thank you for being yourself. Thank you for not settling for second best. Thank you for excusing yourself from things that aren't for you. And thank you for recognizing that even sometimes the nature of illusion can be useful. Because when we go into the magnificence, when we come into the deepest, richest, oldest form of astrological practice, what we do is we look at magic. What? Yeah, I'm talking about it. The magic, the occult, the good stuff, the stuff which happens beyond the observation of lights and illusion, the stuff that happens through vibration and frequency in the occult world of darkness beyond the veil in the 12th house, when we recognize the wizard. And that is you and I. We recognize that we are here working with our craft. Which craft? Astrology, your natal chart, the whole sky dome, the clock that gives us the opportunity to know more of thyself, the archetypes that play out externally, which are a reflection of our love and all of the different conversations that we have going on internally. And so we're working with collective consciousness. We're working with clearing out time, because you and I, we're the doctors of time. Yes, indeed. We are here to work with the richness of all inclusiveness, which means that we're here to let go of idealizing. Let go of putting people on a pedestals. What is the nature of Pisces? Well, if it isn't glamorous, which is the magic, which we're going back into, it's also this idealism of celebrity. It's also like, I need a messiah. It's also like, I need a savior. Well, you're the savior, so recognize yourself. You're the savior. You and I, we are meant to be here to recognize how we are not to bail everybody else out, but to recognize ourselves. And what does that terminology mean? Bail. It means actually you and I, we have a relationship. Yes, we've got a relationship with ourselves, with this body, with the physical world, with each other. And sometimes we can go into parts of that exploration, part of our experience, and it can deplete us. Oh, gosh. Can't it just deplete you? I mean, that can send you into the woe is me, spiraling down. You know, the energy. Doesn't make you want to do anything much, does it? When you go spiraling down, depleted, sunken, depression, it's not riveting. It's not inspirational. It's not sending you up through the loop when you're spiraling up because you're loving yourself and you're giving yourself joy. But sometimes we go into those heavy scenarios so we can feel the weight. And we keep hanging around, checking ourselves out in time until we're ready to face the music, to face the vibration, to face ourselves, to see actually these illusions give us the opportunity to go into heavy situations. We can idealize, cast ourselves less than, put people above us, whatever it is. This is our opportunity to do away with those illusions, for us to put ourselves back into the opportunity of centauring ourselves, which means that we recognize that we are spirits within the flesh. We are our own savior. We are our own messiah, if you will. We're the good stuff. We're source energy manifested within a physical vessel, and which means that we have a commitment. We have a priority to the adaptation of our stories, whether it's as a collective or whether it's as individuals. We are here as the micro and the macro. There's no less than, there's no more than. You are the love that which you seek. So when we go into illusions, it's because we idealize so that we can play out our past life and prior experiences that have been experienced as a trauma, as a depletion, as a less than situation where we got dragged under something to develop ourselves. We get immersed in something so that we can find a greater picture of our consciousness. A picture? Yeah, a whole vessel full of consciousness, like this thing's full of water. You know, you call it a picture of water. And so when you get a great resolution on a picture of water, what do you see? Well, you see clarity. And so we're going through the fogs of illusion so that we can gain clarity. We can be grateful for this mechanic. It's part of our reality. So thank you for accepting yourself. Thank you for knowing that when you cast yourself into illusions, like this matrix, hall of mirrors, fantastical grid of life that we find ourselves within, when we cast ourselves into the illusion of a romance, when we cast ourselves into the amusement of saying, hey, I've got an ambition, I've got a dream. I've got a dream that I can manifest into my reality. And the more that you feel it, the more that you can bring this manifestation of quantifiable dream stuff, stars dust, into manifestation. So it's not just to be like, stop daydreaming, stop having your head in the clouds, get to work, do something practical. No. You're meant to be able to bring that stuff down, bring it through you, make it into a media that is practical. Be Saturn, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, we need that bathwater. We need our Neptunian daydream time. We need our fogs. We need our delusions, because it's about utilizing both. It's about utilizing both. This is a sensitive contraption. It allows us to go into the daydreams. It allows us to feel what it's like to experience our ambitions, that perfect romance that might not be so perfect, actually, but we go into it and we learn so much. That perfect dream we idealize to be this hero, this sporting hero, this astrologer you might want to be. You might want to be something else. You might want to be an author. You might want to be a musician. You think it, you feel it, but all of the different things that come up, the roadblocks, the hindrances, the thises and the that, which you don't expect, that come along the journey, they're not in the illusion. They're not in the romance, but they teach us so much. So go into your illusions, anchor them, manifest them, live your dreams. You are here to do no less. You are worthy of no less. So open up beyond limitation and see that you can feed into the brilliance of your own vibration and anchor it in your day-to-day rituals and routines. If the moon's full in Pisces, it means that we're at the end of the harvest season. The sun is way back 180 degrees across the way at the end of Virgo. That means that we're having our equinox. Yes, we're going to be having the equinox 2 days after this full moon. The full moon is taking place on Monday at 28 degrees of Pisces. We're going to look at it on the screen right now. Thank you for your presence. This means that actually we're going into the Libra season. Cardinal air is just around the corner, but not before we clear the way. It means actually for the next couple of weeks after the back of this full moon, we're going to be having the waning moon, which means that there's many different layers, like an onion, like an ion sphere. All the things that maybe were ignited within us, we're able to get rid of the lights and illusions and feel into the clarity beyond the delusions and find that this is our opportunity. This is our moment. This is our perfect moment to manifest, because Mercury's slowing down. It's the perfect opportunity to see ourselves for our own bullshit and for our own greatest potentials. Be real with yourself. Be the Saturn, but be this out there, radical, I can do anything. I can anchor my genius. I can be my most stabilized spiritual self in a radical way, which is against the grain, which hasn't been done before, because that is your uniqueness. But you can bring it into a template which is formulated, that is respected, that people buy into. Why? Because you buy into you. And when people feel that frequency, when you actually do buy into your greatest endeavors, when you do anchor love, as a reporter of love, as a news reporter, you tell the story to yourself. Hey, I'm pretty gosh darn beautiful. I'm pretty gosh darn brilliant. I've done this, I've done that, which means I can achieve so much more in my life. You can moor the relationship to the embankment of your heart, which means you can have a tight relationship with you, and the manifestation of your heart's vision, your desires, they can be real for you. We just have to get out of our own way, and that might mean doing some real Saturnian stuff. It might mean putting up some real strong boundaries with regards to the way that we think about ourselves, the way that we perceive of others, the way that we have to be a foundation. We have to be the embankment. We have to be a foundation of love. Give ourselves the credibility. Give ourselves the time. Do the due diligence. Be patient and show up consistently, persistently with love. Thank you for your moments. I'm going to be pulling up the charts on the screen now. I see you in that live chat. Loads of different beautiful people. Beautiful stranger. That's a brilliant Madonna song. I see you over there, as well as Jenna and Underwater Panther. We're going to be going through all of the different aspects in the chart for the full moon, which is taking place in just about 48 hours from now. In just a moment, if you want to book a consultation with me, all you need to do is follow the links in the description and we can arrange a mutually beneficial time to connect. I've chosen some really Piscean feedback from a testimonial from a happy client here. They said, "Dear Philip, what a great space. I still can't believe the energy spinning around my living room as we talked, the almighty electrical storm creating havoc in the skies outside. The gods were seriously out to play. Anyway, loved your intuition. You were spot on. I'm going to listen to it all again and get prepared for my coming out ceremony. I'm sure I'll be in touch again, but I would like to add that your energetic vibration is incredibly pure. So lovely to know you're here on the planet doing such wonderful work." Well, she's full of compliments, but the point is, it's about what you feel resonance with. And if we're going into your natal chart, it's about feeling all of the frequencies that are there. And that means being there, holding space for some of the least chosen parts of our experience. And that means we're loving that space. That means holding a deep, like a higher brother, a higher self, a higher sister. It means that actually we become our significant other. Like, no one else can be there for ourselves. Astrology lends us that. A good consultation with any astrologer that you resonate should lend you the opportunity to come into yourself as your highest, most greatest purpose, and for you to see yourself from that angle, even through past experiences, most importantly, opening up the potential of you being your own storyteller and your own authority for the future potentials which you're stepping into. And I'm here to hold that service. All the information in the description box below. Thank you for your presence, Real Cato Gaming and La Estrella. Estrella, excuse me for butchering your name there. I'm grateful for you. Someone said in the live chat, when is Mercury retrograde? It's in the waning half of this lunar cycle. Mercury's already been in shadow for quite some time. So you could say the Mercury retrograde is already on the way, you know. Even though Mercury's not moving backwards, Mercury's been in its retrograde function for quite some time, because as soon as it goes into shadow, it's retrograde season. And so Mercury went into retrograde shadow at 10 degrees of Libra, which is where it will be back by the 18th of October. It stations retrograde on the 27th of September. It's already slowing down. It's going to move about 3 degrees within the next week or so, the next 7-8 days. Mercury stations retrograde next Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. Good question. And write those notes down. You know, Mercury will be out of shadow by the 2nd of November and then go into Scorpio on the 5th. Remember, the 5th of November. Weberson, I'm grateful for you. Beautiful beings, all of you are. Here we go. Here's the chart of the current sky, and we're going to work through it. We haven't got too many aspects building up between now and the full moon. In fact, we're pretty much there. It's almost like a waiting game, a patience game. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm just feeling into it. But obviously it doesn't mean that your personal planets aren't aspected, does it? The moon is going through Pisces right now. We only have a quincunx from Venus to Chiron tomorrow, from Scorpio back to Taurus in Venus's own sign, as well as the Mercury trine to Jupiter, which is going to be going on for a prolonged amount of time, as Mercury is actually going to station and stay at 25 degrees of Libra, and it's going to square Pluto for a prolonged amount of time as that goes on as well. So mañana, tomorrow, we're going to have this moon a little bit more deeply in 24 hours into Pisces. It's going to be making its conjunction with Neptune. If you look in the sky right now, as you will see if you follow me on Instagram, I had a little bit of a share on my story, that we've got the moon just the far side of Jupiter, and you might be able to see Saturn if you've got a clear night. And then over here, Venus is pretty much setting now over there, where I am at least, and I'm in the east coast here in Mexico, on the Gulf. And so, yeah, you can see them all there. Jupiter, the moon, Saturn, and Venus. You might even be able to see Mercury, probably set by now, actually. But anyway, yeah. it will be that another 24 hours, so 48 hours from now, we have this full moon. And it's at 28 degrees of Pisces. Not the anaretic degree, not the culminative degree, but it's flipping close to the very end of the zodiac wheel entirely. And so this is quite a big deal. Also, we can see it's extra picked up, this chart is, by the sun having trined Pluto as of a couple of days ago. Exactly, it's still making this trine to Pluto, and we see that Pluto is making the sextile to Neptune in the full moon. And so it adds a lot of power, it adds a lot of structure and support. What are we letting go of? Illusions about the structures of the world, illusions about giving our authority away to people who don't deserve it in the world. What are you letting go of? What's becoming clear in your life experiences right now all over the world? How we often find that we do give our power away needlessly to people in the world. We often find that this is a self-sabotaging situation, which we must all learn better boundaries with. If wholeness is a thing, we're all on a similar level with regards to learning about things. Nobody's above, nobody's less than. We gain something from every different part of the spectrum around us. And so we can be grateful and recognize the nature and the quality in everybody, right? I think that because it's a releasing, we can recognize the potency in the transmutation that's being taking place right now. Venus is going through Scorpio. It's a radical change of how we haven't recognized things which we can feel into. We call ourselves out on these vulnerabilities and expose ourselves for our own shortcomings in certain situations. We empower ourselves. And so if you've got the guts, the gall, the courage to really face yourself, this is the greatest time to reveal yourself, to expose yourself to your own illusions, and for you to really pull back on doing these things, whether it's a habit, ritual, pastime, whether it's a mechanic in your mind, whether it's in a relationship, and all of these different things. At Philip Daniel Miles is my Instagram for you, Jennifer. But yeah, I always do like astrology posts and things like that. I like to write about the old astrology poetically. So that's very Piscean, right? Piscean is also about how utilizing and anchoring this energy. Think about how you can do something constructive that's powerful for you. If a sextile to the Pluto, it's like, okay, I've got all these different things. I feel all a bit emotional all weekend of the full moon. How can I do something? Well, you write about it. You write about it. You write about your feelings. You might want to write a poem. You might not want to write and give your feelings to somebody, but you can write about them and keep them for yourself, which is a very healthy practice. You know, it's about letting go of illusions and finding that we can really reveal ourselves to ourselves. Think about Jupiter ruling Pisces. I know Neptune rules Pisces and it's right next to this full moon, i.e. me talking about letting go of illusions of the collective, illusions of grandeur, where we pin people up and project our own perfect pet projections, very much our anima, our animus, our parent scenarios, the idealism. Oh my gosh, we're full of it, aren't we? So even with our caretakers, with our Stockholm syndrome, with the idealists of the celebrities in the world. I mean, look at Nicki Minaj, coming out in the world with her anti-vax talk, even being spoken about by British Prime Minister, invited to the White House as well, because she's speaking up about her truth. Jupiter's about truth. It's retrograde, and Pisces full moon is letting go of illusions. It's coming out and saying all these things. And we've got the South Node in Sagittarius, Jupiter's other sign. Jupiter's about to station direct the same day that Mercury will on the 18th of October. That is a little while off. It's a whole month away. Yes, it's a whole month away. By the time we get to the full moon in Aries, we'll be letting go of those old identifications, but we must let go of the old illusions first. Layer by layer of the onion, of the ion, of the I am, of the lights, of the illusions. We can only address and redress our wounding, which is a manipulative state that we put ourselves into and are seduced into by the nature of our experiences, by power in this reality. But you can empower yourself. We each are empowering ourselves through these energies as we peel away from anything that doesn't serve us, or we felt that we have had subservience allure to, you know. we're letting go of things that even can be like a catalyst for us getting out of situations. Like, I've gone into a situation and I recognize that I was idealizing that situation, but it means that I can call myself out on a bigger thing that's more important at this stage, that needs to be rectified for my own value, for my own happiness. It's not about that situation, but it can be used as a lance. It can be used as a leverage to get yourself out of something that's been going on for way too long. And so recognize this, know that yes, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, they're in their deep shadow of their retrograde. By January, they're going to come out of their shadow. Jupiter's going to be back in Pisces, Saturn's going to be back at 14 degrees of Aquarius, Pluto's going to be back going on to the 27th degree of Capricorn. And so what you do is you use this micro window now of Mercury retrograde, seeing as that beautiful person mentioned it, and say that, okay, between now and the middle to end of October, moving through to the beginning of November, I've really changed my status on where I perceive and think of myself. And this full moon's the beginning of that, because we must get out of our own way and call ourselves out and find out what is true. And sometimes you don't know, and that's okay, but you know what isn't true for you. You know what doesn't feel right energetically. You know what to excuse yourself from. How many more permission slips do you need? You don't need to give yourself permission. Just do what's right for you. Do what's true for you. Truth is a credit. Truth is fortune. Jupiter, truth is your bank balance. Truth is how you hold yourself. Truth is your love. And you do it for you first. Virgo, the Hermeticist, does it first to reveal a message, to show a message. You are the media. You are a billboard. You truly do count. Count yourself included and bank on yourself. And people around you will take notice. What is a note? It's a musical term. What is a note? It's a frequency. So when you are a billboard for the love, that which you choose to be, when you walk around and instate the love which you choose to receive, every other body around you will wake up to it, because you'll be creating waves. You'll be so magnanimous that your truth stands up as a frequency. They're like, that's different. That's quirky. I'm not sure I can deal with it. But your love speaks loud and proud, and it's really infectious, and people will learn to love themselves in their own way just because you're doing it in your own way. And when you do it for you, other people will learn to do it for themselves. So that's the greatest way to do it. Do it by being it. Do it by choosing you. Do it by igniting you as an effigy, a burning effigy of love from the soul inside out. Why? Because you matter, because you count, because your message ripples on out. You're a star. Your radiance is irreplaceable. Goodness gracious. Let's recognize ourselves. Look at this Venus opposite Uranus at this time. It's going to build into the waning half of the lunar cycle. 'Tis that situation. And it's like, hey, I'm going to be continuously seeing the shocks. As soon as you put a weight down, your trajectory goes over there. A bit like how we have sandbags keeping a hot air balloon down. Keeps us safe with a bad diet. Keeps us safe with a relationship which isn't for us. But as soon as we put it down, as soon as we say, that's not for me, we get all of the things that we've been waiting for, because the weight holds us back in time. It keeps us back in a heavy state of frequency. But when we let go of that thing, we transmutate and we change, and we find that we become the great attractor. And so as we move into this autumnal time, as we see that this is the harvest moon, the summarization of all that which we've been working to for more than 6 months, for a lifetime. You chose your life now for a reason. And that reason is to love these moments now. And yeah, you might think, oh no, I've got the collywobbles, Mercury retrograde, this and that. We've got the Venus at full, we've got Mars at full, the sun's going into full. That's the season, baby. We've got these trials because we're worthy of seeing through our own stuff. And the darker shades of the autumnal time gives us to see the opportunity of belief systems falling away. And with the South Node in Sagittarius until the winter solstice for these next 90 days, this is exactly what we need to work with. Wax on, wax off, set up the opportunities for the year of Tiger, because the year of the Ox right now is about removing them all. Removing these roadblocks out of our way so that we're fortuitous, so that we're formidable, so we're not carrying the heaviness. And we will doubt ourselves because the opportunities are vast. We will doubt ourselves because that's what the Ox does, but it yields results. However, the space that we're clearing, energetically and physically, means that we can really find that we're able to share our gifts, our awareness, our talents. You are actually very, very much a necessary component for what the world is opening up to. You and I, we're here to be able to share our gifts. So thank you for you being present. I just did a reading with somebody and it was great. It was a really good reading. Really enjoyed it. We actually went a little bit extra time, which was like double the time. And I was going to do this reading with you guys hours ago. So my energy's not as roaring as it was when I wanted to do it a couple of hours ago. So excuse me, I just channeled all that message without even being too ludicrous with the academics of astrology. But you know, you got a lot from it. Check out the other videos I've done recently with Venus and Scorpio, almost halfway through that transit now, as Venus will ingress into Sagittarius on the 7th. Also the Mars and Libra one, which is actually going on till the end of October, if you want to know more about transits. But yeah, as I say, all of these planets are slowing down to station now. And this means a lot. We're coming to the end of the first 6 signs of the Zodiac, and we're coming into a deeper level of depth with our perspective, with our experiences. We're coming into another season. And so this is a great time for us to take a load off, to recognize that we can restart on the equinox and just give yourself the love, give yourself the compassion, and receive yourself right now. If you want a personal consultation, I'm here for you. It's what I do. I'm available for your bookings as of the middle of the week, going into towards the end of next week. Get in contact if that's something you're interested in. I'm available for you. Whole menagerie of different types of charts, whether it's your family charts with relationship synastry, maybe you want to elect charts for something that's going on with business, moving house, with these retrogrades, these types of things. If you need reassurance, whatever it is, if you've never had a natal chart reading before and you would like me because you resonate with the type of things that I'm sharing, I'm here for you. All the information is in the description box below. Right, I'm going to go through each of the 12 signs of the astrology chart. One thing I feel guided to say, I know a lot of the people are astrological students, and I do think astrology is a great way for us to become closer with the archetypal language of the universe. And there's so many people know lots of deep things going into the psychological development of astrology, learning about archetypes and things. But I must say, as someone who is very adept and who's been doing this for years and years, like almost a decade and a half, just get yourself a beginner's guidebook. This is the first one that I got years and years ago, and I brought it actually from England to Mexico with me because I want to meet someone who I feel like deserves me to hand this to them so that they can use it for themselves. And this is just a great one. Those are great ones out there, but this goes through the dynamic of learning a little bit of each of the wheels. And I mean each wheel, so you learn a bit about aspects, you learn a bit about planets, you learn a bit about the signs, you learn a little bit about the houses. And then after you've gone through this and it teaches you your layers, it teaches you your template, you go and get one just about planets. You go and get one just about this. You get just about that. That's the way it worked for me, at least. Go with what resonates. But get yourself a good template reassurance. Don't feel undermined. Don't feel patronized by it. It sets you up real good. And so do it for you, because it only enriches your own relationship with your own chart and gives you a greater ability to connect, reading for all those people around you and building a relationship as your own astrologer. Anyway, good old talking, isn't it? Mercury is right by my moon on this station direct, and it sextiles my own Mercury in Sagittarius. Enough about me. Here we go. I'm going to talk about this full moon. It's happening in Pisces. Pisces, yes, your ruling planet's Jupiter is retrograde in your 12th house, and it's about to station retrograde, station direct, but not for a whole month yet. A month today, actually, on the 18th of October. And so, how we find so much empowerment through our stations, and yet it's gone back into the collective consciousness, like your 12th house. And so, how are you letting go of illusions that you identify with? This is your full moon, okay? And so, it's important to let go of old belief systems. The moon rules your 9th house, doesn't it? Just oh yes, it does. It rules your 9th house. Let me write something down here. Goodness great, I've got 3 pens here, and all of them are running out, except for this one, which looks like it's run out the most, but it's the least run out one. There's very Pisces, right? Illusions, clarity. Okay, and so here we go. let me just get this done, what I was doing here, and then I'll be back with you. Thank you very much indeed. So yeah, you're letting go with the moon ruling your ninth house there, Pisces. So many old outdated belief systems, maybe through the matriarchal line, maybe it's about the nationality, maybe it's about the family in some way or shape or form, maybe you're just emotional attachments. Either way, you can find a great amount of weight lifted, a great amount of your identity freed up and liberated off the back of this full moon. It doesn't mean it's going to happen like a flash overnight. It can be that it's happening through the waning half of the cycle before we set up for this Libra new moon in your 8th house. We'll talk about it. Not now. So now, the moon's in Pisces. It's going to be moving through there. It's going to go over your Neptune, your modern day ruling planet. So how can we find that sometimes you might want to go into illusions? You're going to be watching movies this weekend, or you're going to have a hot bath. You're going to go into your consciousness and write some things down, write some affirmations down, get your things out there, see how you're feeling. Maybe you want a bit of arts and crafts. I don't know what you want to do. It's a great opportunity to go into the glamorous nature of whatever takes you, whatever captivates you. You know, photography, cinema. Maybe you want to create your own art. I don't know, but you can manifest something from your imagination at this time. 3 cards popped out, as well as whatever's bottom of the pack. The moon rules your 9th house. This can be a very valuable opportunity to feel into our beliefs and see which ones are for you and which ones are bringing security and which ones bring insecurity. And so this is a transformation of your value as you do that. 9 Pentacles, 8 Pentacles. And in doing that, you can be very, very productive, infinitely so, as you honor your emotions. 2 Pentacles, 9, 8, and 2 Pentacles. It's a very practical kind of modality that you're feeling into there. It's a very practical modality which you're able to recognize, okay? Just need to get this aircon on. It's very warm here. And so when you're honoring your emotions, when you're expressing your truth, you're able to really be guided by something which is less practical, and that's yourself. You're able to go into the lights, into the illusions, into the fog, and find clarity. Timeless, beyond the veil, you can find that you're able to go in and out. What can you bring back from that space and put into your work? What can you bring back and put into your day-to-day practices? What can you bring back from the ethers and anchor into the manifestation of your reality? Pisces, we got the 9 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Pentacles, as well as the High Priestess for you there. So use your imagination to anchor something. Don't let yourself be limited. No limits. Transmutation in your value is what needs to be going on. Recognize who you are, because you're worthy of no less. Fally Blue, grateful for you. Thank you for your presence. And Angel 2, you're each and equally appreciated, as well as Summer, December. Thank you for being you. Okay, next we got Aries. Aries, this is a full moon for you in your 12th house, isn't it? Yeah, Pisces is the 12th house of Aries, but the ruling planet of Aries is 180 degrees across the way, having its transit through Libra. So you might feel far from home right now, but this is a 12th house full moon, taking away layers, soothing you maybe from family illusions. The moon rules your 4th house, didn't it? Excuse me. The last time, Pisces, I said the moon rules your 9th house. It's about your creative endeavors. Excuse me. I was getting delusional myself. I've been talking for a long time. You will excuse me. I've been talking for ages. I'm not as prepared for as I would like to be. But no, you think, oh my gosh, he's not prepared. Well, you try. We doing all of these different broadcasts, so I appreciate your patience with me. Give me a moment so I can be there. There we go. All these pens. Jennifer Shannon. Thank you. I appreciate your lovely compliments. So Pisces, moon rules your 5th house. That's that. And Aries, obviously, it's your 4th house. It's because you're doing with so many different templates, just turning the wheel. It's just turning the wheel. The way I do it, just for you guys, I'll show you, is that you write down here, obviously this is all of the houses for each of where the moon's falling. You know your zodiacs for each one anyway, then it's okay. So, but also with the moon ruling each of the houses, it gives you greater definition for what's being let go of. Just so you're aware, that's how you read the chart, because the moon rules Cancer. And so for Aries, you're letting go of old stuff. You can nurture yourself. You might want to be a hermit as you're letting go of these old things. Cinderella, thank you for your presence. And so that can be very soothing for you, letting go of illusions, letting go of projections, letting go of these things. Sometimes we need something to project up upon to so that we can see ourselves, and then we can let go of them as well. And so Aries, cut yourself free. Wow, it's a new path, a new identity. Ace is right up your sleeve. Isn't that suitable for you, Aries? Go straight in, hold yourself to integrity. Don't put up with other things that aren't for you, because you're worthy of only what suits you, and you won't have any less, will you? Go off on your new path. Use whatever's coming up for you as a catalyst to make the changes and alterations within your relationships and your experience with yourself and all things, whether it's work, family, children, your lovers, your mothers, your fathers, the farthest thing from you. I don't care what it is, but make the changes for you, because you're worthy, Aries. Very fiery, isn't it? Oh, yes. The next full moon will be in Aries. Mars is going through Libra. It's a very interesting time. Very interesting time. Focus on yourself. Focus on you. I know you will, Aries, but that's a message for everybody. There's so many other things that are in the world right now which are so distracting. And let's just talk about distractions. I mean, this is a record player, right? Put your needle in a groove and you'll play your own tune. Put your needle in a groove and you'll play your own tune. If you get distracted, it's no good for you. Put your needle into your heart and play your own tune, right? See, easy as that. We will get distracted. Oh, look at them. They're doing well for them. Oh, they're beautiful. Oh, look at them. Couldn't they do a bath? We're judgmental people, human beings. But really, if we focus on ourselves like a laser, or especially better than watching that news or that entertainment, sometimes it's nice to have a bit of escapism. I do watch professional wrestling myself, and that puts me into a daydream, a la land. I think about astrology when I do it. It really helps, actually. I think about the wrestlers' astrology. But the point is, you can go into your daydreams, you can go into these different things, but the point is that it's about focusing back onto you. What do you gain from it? What works? What modality is beneficial for you? Don't be distracted to the point that it depletes you. Don't idealize or put other things before you to the degree that you put yourself second and never get what's meant for you. You can only receive what's meant for you, but you can repeat lessons until you learn that, till you earn yourself enough respect that you do put yourself first and forward. Oh, yes, I love it. Cinderella. I'm a bit silly now because of that lovely Pisces moon and the person called Cinderella in the live chat. At this point as well, the moon sextiles my sun. I've got a sun at the beginning of Capricorn, so it's asking for me to be a bit creative and step into my bravado. So I'll just focus on me doing Taurus instead. Taurus, this is a full moon in Pisces. It's 28 degrees, and it's happening in your 11th house. And so it's very much about your community, and it suit you because you've got Uranus in your first house by transit, don't you do? Venus rules your chart. Venus in Scorpio, 180 degrees across the way in Scorpio in your 7th house right now. Really big focus on looking at your projections. Same as Aries, it's looking about our projections. It's everybody. Right now we're looking about our projections. We're going into the fall, the autumnal season. It's where we get to see through our own crap, where we get to wade through the processing of our own beliefs, our own projections. That is a pet projection. What do I mean by that? We make our own pet story, our own unseen, unrecognized stories, our layers of our hearts that haven't been tended to. We're projecting onto other people, idealistic, so it is. And however, you can find that this is really beneficial with you working with communities. Which people were you able to let go of? Online or in real life, and how can you align with your personal tribe? When you let go of things that aren't for you, you really find that you do anchor or attract what is for you. You are that kind of I'm going to attract something rather than go after it energy. You're a Taurus. You're ruled by Venus. You should be attracting rather than having things coming towards you in general. Obviously, it depends on your whole chart. But really, it's an energy that wants to be asked to dance rather than to be asking others to dance, right? And so expelling and releasing things that aren't for you, even a manner of communication or a type of exchange can be a great guide, because it's about how you feel and perceive of the connections. 3rd house is where the moon rules, Cancer's 3rd house for Taurus, right? And so, boop, it's about the identification of your communications that you share with other people within community affairs. How does it make you feel afterwards? If it doesn't make you feel good afterwards, why are you engaging in those situations? Put better boundaries up that reassure you to the credibility and connections with yourself and with others that truly deserve to receive you. And so we've got the world card, which is fixed energy, Taurus, that's you, Leo energy, Scorpio, where Venus is for Taurus and for everybody, and Aquarius, right? And so the point is, this is the full moon in Pisces in your 11th house, but all change. We're changing seasons. What was solidified has to change. It's a mutable time. It's a great changeable time. And so what you're looking at is about, this is the spinning of the turntables to put yourself into the position of where you want to be. We're moving into cardinal energy, and it should be like the writings on the wall. I am not happy. I know what changes need to be made. Then I can square myself up and put myself into the position that's made for me. By you. You're the creator, you're the sculptor. See yourself as this visionary, communicate it, connect yourself, make a quantum leap, let go of what's not for you, and elevate the frequency of what your experience can be. Free wands. As I say, the moon rules the third house, but it's full in Pisces, 28 degrees of your 11th house. The world card. All change. You are the change which you seek. Laurie Echtenstam. I'm Saggy, Capricorn rising. Always love your astrology. Thank you so much. And how you share. I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for the lovely feedback. I see you, Aquarius moon. I appreciate you. Everybody in the live chat, thanks for giving the video a thumbs up, sharing it with your friends if you feel so inclined. I'm grateful. As well as giving yourself a thumbs up. You're worthy. You're worthy. Thanks for receiving you. Catherine, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for your presence. You are very, very dearly appreciated. Next, we're going to be talking about the energy of Gemini. Oh, yes, indeed, Gemini, your ruling planet Mercury slowing down so that you get the opportunity to fall back into your continual exploration of the underworld. Are you really orientating your mind to a way which supports yourself emotionally? Are you really orientating your consciousness in a manner which supports yourself in the world spiritually? Because Pisces is mutable energy, just like yourself, and it's in the 10th house. Mercury's slowing down in your 5th house. How can you find that your centrifugal combustion system of your intellectual connection to your heart can be determined in a way that allows you to square yourself up with your talents, with your gifts, with your joy, with your identification, with how you can nurture yourself and receive a connection to the ethers in the world? What? Yeah, I know, it's complex. Complex, so it is. What can you release that's stopping you from doing that? Old values put into the matriarchal system from maybe the family line that don't serve you. It's in your body. It feels like you should do it, but you know that now it doesn't work. How can you alter this? How can you recognize this? Intuitively guided to release this so you can be, so that it puts yourself in a better orientation to receive the love from yourself, from the enjoyment of what you do for you. Woo, I like it. So what we're calling for is some emotional discernment. Emotional discernment for you guys. You're an intellectual being, but you've got Cancer in the 2nd house, right? How can you find that this Pisces 10th house full moon allows for you to release things that allow you to get that emotional recognition from your relationships to the world and your heart's joy and all things in your experience that you deserve? Sometimes you can protect yourself by doing things that put you into a mind state rather than a feeling state. But feelings matter for everybody. They create, they harness energy. So how can you put your mind in a mechanic that allows you to honor your emotions with your creativity, that supports you and steers you in an inspirational way, which you are nurtured by, that enjoys you, that allows you to earn money in the world, that allows you to feel respected, all that good stuff, by being real serious and pursuing your joy. You can go after no less. This is a standard. It's an efficient standard. It's a malefic direct line. Go towards it. Mercury is going retrograde in the same sign as Mars. They will have their conjunction. Mercury's your ruling planet. So no doubts that you'll get where you need to be, but you've got to find a way, a modality for feeling into your mysticism, feeling into your template, feeling into an allowance that gets you into that notion of emotional connection with yourself, that allows you to feel the amusement of your own heart's art, your own honey, your own joy. How can you be devoted to a cause that allows you to feel connection with unity with the world. Where's it coming from? These messages, Gemini, you're the messenger. Decide, anchor it. You're worthy. Get out of your own way. You're an emotional, spiritual being. Don't let the mind run the show. Lose it. Come to your senses. And then be mindful and coherent. Because that's you. I'm grateful for you. 7 Cups. The Emperor. Do it for you. That thing. Okay? Next, we got Cancer, innit? I see you in the live chat. Blessed One and Sweet Peach. Thank you each for being there. And October Dawn. I'm grateful for you. And Zephian. Thank you for your presence. Yeah, you might want to escape. Some people might want to do a bit of plant medicine with this. Maybe a bit of a shamanic healing energy with this full moon. Maybe you want to go on a bit of a trip, mind, body, and spirit in this full moon. Do what's best for you. Be discerning. Anchor love. Be with you. Okay, next is Cancer. Well, your moon rules you. You're ruled by the moon, and it's growing full. You can feel it, the heaviness. And so it's about releasing an old identification, Cancer. It's releasing an old identification. I'm looking at this load of bollocks here. Excuse my French. Excuse me. But let me get set. Cancer. This is a 9th house full moon for you guys. Maybe you want to go up above and beyond and learn something new, but you've got, for instance, I can't get an astrology book. It's the stuff of the devil. We've got old feelings by the family line. And it might be for a very good reason. You might have been burnt at the stake in a past life. It's like, I can't do astrology this time, but it's your calling. And so you have to release old belief systems about things. You're here to share your emotions. You're here to be in touch with them, but yet you've been diminished. This world hasn't been supporting emotionally feeling beings. You need to find a place that allows you to be that vulnerable, supportive self. That energy of the mother, Cancer, has been made a donkey out of it. In Shrek, that's the figure, that's the archetype of the Cancer, is the donkey. And it's happened through patriarchal living for eons, through societies, by design. Why? Because emotions are so flipping powerful. That's what cuts through estuaries, our water, our mountains. It cuts through Capricorn, cuts through the mountains when we're coming, and I'll be coming around the mountain with my emotions. Because it's actually the great gift, Cancer. You are able to get things off your chest with regards to outdated belief systems in the collective. You're like, oh, Jiminy Cricket, aren't we over it already? Feel into it, release it, cry, let go. The tears, the tears, they are the roots to your salvation, and you know it. Hold yourself within your own spiritual arms. You're worth it. You're worth the time. You're worth spending time with yourself. You devote yourself to so many around you. Be with you. Hold a space for you. Let go of any old, outdated scenarios that have been repeated, that taught you a less than, that made you feel less than, because you are no less than. Nobody is. You're of a quality. Then we call that quality fine, quintessential equality, which is an infinite frequency of love. It's a foundation of the stuff. So come into yourself and recognize that you're worthy of nothing less. Woo! Goodness me. Who are we talking about? Cancer. And it's about, it's very nice. It's just this alchemical set which you possess. You know better than anybody when to release, when to let go, when you need a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, you've got all of the chemicals within your body, the emotional awareness, whether to put it into your basket or to someone else's. Put it into your basket. Put it into your basket. Release. You know, you can make way for a new belief system which can carry you far. You know, you can cultivate faith which will carry you further. You know, you can cultivate a currency, a moment which is actually beyond time, which is your moment now. That presence is the gift which you receive when you have that relationship with you. Thank you for holding that space for you. This is a great big opportunity to let go of some old thing which might have held you back, which can really elevate the trajectory of your life. You're so caring. You're so temperamental with regards to putting other people first, listening to them, holding a space for them. Hold that space for you. What's this again? The next full moon will be in the 10th house of Aries. Put yourself forward. Put yourself first. Be the executioner, because you're worthy of it. Mars is in your 4th house, Cancer. Maybe there's a lot of boisterous energy around. Put yourself into that space. Be heard. Be the alchemist. Create gold. You are the gold. Show your family how it's done. We are family, the whole collective, you and me, Cancer. Full moon in Pisces in your 9th house, double major arcana. It's like, hey, here I am, 12th house. Here I am, individual spark. Hey, I'm a little old me. I can't love the whole world. You are the whole world. I don't know where it comes from. It's so true, though. Temperance and the Emperor. For Cancer, full moon, 28 degrees of Pisces in your 9th house. You are your own guru, baby. Be that love which you seek. Don't need to seek it out there. Be it within you. Okay, next we got Leo. Oh, it's for you guys. It is the sun moving through the very last couple of days of summer. And we have our harvest full moon, and then the sun goes into your 3rd house of Libra into full. Oh, yeah. Okay, and so how can we make the best out of energies when they're at full? Well, Taurus has got it right now. Aries has got it right now. And you're about to have it also, Leo. And it's okay. We don't have to have our tail between our legs. You can pump it up from the inside out. Pump up and down. Pump it up. Move it around. Get that body pumping. Your body of work speaks for itself. You're glorious. You shine your light on everybody else. So shine your light inward, inside of you, because you're worthy. That's what a centrifugal love machine does. Don't you know it? You burn from the inside out. That's what stars do. So recognize that actually maybe you might not feel that others appreciate you, but appreciate yourself. Give the benefit of doubt, because doubt, well, it's like assumption, isn't it? It makes an ass out of you and I. You know, it really is just a projection of our own shadows, our own tails, our own shortcomings. Come for yourself. Don't put yourself second. Full moon for you guys in your 8th house. It's about how the philosophy of your relationships, with the sun going into Libra, the full moon in your 8th house. We've got to let go of illusions and get clear. Get clear on our projections. Get clear on our delusions. Get clear that sometimes we're just going to be using those projections when we're assumed by self, when we're gregarious. Sometimes that's par for the course, especially when we're focused on our heart's joy. It's okay. Nobody's less than. Nobody's to blame. We ain't got no time for shame. No ball games around here. So basically, come into the arc of your own emotional philosophy for life. Let go of anything that ain't for you. You know, the moon rules your 12th house, doesn't it? And so this can be collective karma, which you're falling into. Hook, line, and stinker. You got caught up in it, didn't you? We all do. And so you can find that you're working as a central figure within this collective, doing your part, clearing it as a doctor of time, as a change, as an advocate for change. You are the change that which you seek. Let go of illusions through the communication, through the airing of one's own dirty laundry. Be a player. Be the game. You are the game. You are that love which you seek. You're worthy. Recognize your worthiness. Yes. And so Mercury's going to go retrograde like on the 3rd quarter moon. It's coming retrograde from the 27th of September in your 3rd house with the sun. You're going to have the inferior conjunction of Mercury and the sun. I ain't got a date for you. I ain't got the date. But you know it's going to be around the middle of it's probably going to be around the 10th of October, something like that. And so it's just after we have that new moon in Libra. It's about letting go of layers one by one. And this first layer is doubts and illusions in relationships. It's a full moon in your 8th house. Doesn't mean you have to let go of the people, but certainly the way that we perceive of them, or that we think or feel that others perceive of us. That can be healing. But sometimes it's coming into terms of letting go of those people too, that can support us as well as them. The hardest thing that love will do is walk away from a relationship. The hardest thing that love will do is walk away from something that's not serving us. But it's the most loving thing too. 9 cups. 2 wands. For Leo, full moon in Pisces in your 8th house, 28 degrees of Virgo. This is why it's honouring your value, because the sun's still in Virgo in your 2nd house. Anyway, see you over there in the live chat. Brandon, I'm grateful for you. And Jenna, you're a fantastic bunch of beings. I'm grateful. You're all equally appreciated. And now we're going to do Virgo. Yes, Virgo, we're talking about the full moon 180 degrees across the way for you. And it is in Pisces. And so happy solar return to you, Virgos. It's the last couple of days of Virgo season. Your ruling planet Mercury, as we've mentioned, is going retrograde. Retrograde in your second house of Libra as of 27th of September. It will go retrograde back from 25 degrees all the way back to 10 degrees of Libra in your second house. So you can make alterations in regards to your perceptions in how you are valuing and honoring you. But this means it's about our projections, our perceptions. Full moon in your seventh house, Libra being the seventh sign, is about how you perceive, how you project. Oh, I'm not good enough for that job. Oh, I'm not good enough for that relationship. Yes, you are. And so it's about recognizing that, yes, you are. And how can you make this change and say, okay, well, I know I'm good enough, so I may as well go for it. I may as well. And so you can. It's about setting yourself up for glory. You set a standard within your story and you set yourself up for glory. And so harvesting that gives you a great benefit within that experience for you. Okay, there, Virgo. And I think that's pretty cool. Cards come out. Ooh, very nice. It's the 5 of Cups. Creative, emotional displays. Creativity can be really powerful for you, especially as the sun rules your 12th house. How can you go into the ethers, do some hermetic work, do some witchcraft or kind of magical, glamorous rituals, and to draw in the vision of your heart's desire for you? That's what the Fool would do. It's happy-go-lucky, just in the moment, just not really considering too much because it's not attached to some other outcome. Just doing it, just rolling the dice, dancing with death, making the changes that you want because you've got the gall, the guts, the determination to go for it all. Let go of whatever's not for you and create your vision because you're worthy of no less as we move into the Fool. It's your time. Shine. Anchor it into your heart. Do something that you identify with. Mars in your second house of Libra at this time is saying go for it like a laser beam for you. And this is why you're worthy of that. Your Mercury is going to be in a conjunction with Mars and the Sun on the same day at some point within the next couple of within the next few weeks. So this is like communicating it, speaking your truth, executing it. Maybe it's about perceiving it and going after it, having a vision, anchoring it like a flash. It just may come to you, a muse, an inspiration. And this full moon can give you the opportunity to let go of doubts, let go of the heaviness that says you're not worthy of having those things, right? Get centered because you're worthy of no less. This means also maybe letting go of old friends, old relationships, or even the fucks you gave about being respected in the first place by them, just by being yourself and just doing it. 2 sheets to the wind, I say. Maybe it's about having this compassion, but yet you cared too much about what other people considered you to be. Put yourself less than, but actually you raise yourself up and you find out that everybody absolutely respected you anyway. Have the respect to go after it, pursue it. You're worthy. Okay, blunt I am. I've got Mars squaring my Sun and Lilith right now. Next, Libra, where Mars is, and Mercury slowing down. But your ruling planet, Venus, in your second house right now in Scorpio. And so this is very powerful for you guys. This is the full moon in your 6th house, Libra. It's really about your work, your money, and also about your relationship to your body, to your health, your day-to-day rituals and routines. You really want to feel how you considered that you're honoring yourself in your relationships that you find yourself in, with your work, with your body, with other people in romance, with our projections, with our idealisms, all these types of things. You've got a whole load of 12th house transits going on for you, Libra, at this time. So you're just letting go of layers, letting go of idealisms, projections, all these types of things, all loads of karmic lessons. But you know, with Mercury, we're going retrograde in your sign, with Venus going through its fall of Pisces, it's a great opportunity for you to really anchor something, for you to really anchor the magic, you know, like that you've got coming to you. Magic happens in the darkness, and you are worthy because of your law of perception, which goes beyond the surface. And so be your greatest infinite creator. You've got all of the elements at your disposal. And so, you know, make those changes, make those alterations. The World card again says anything that stabilized you might not be there to give you the longevity to take you where you see yourself going. And so let go of anything that you had like expectations and open up to the limitless potential that which you bestow. Open up to creating a change. You don't be a stickler for grabbing on to things, keeping them the same, but maybe you want to bring in something new. All this cardinal energy, mutable energy with this full moon, but we're coming into cardinal energy, and even the sextile from Pluto in Capricorn to this full moon in Pisces is saying, hey, make some changes, be efficient, lead with the changes, especially with Mercury retrograde, bringing these alterations to your sense of identifications and your belief systems and connection to the cosmos. You're a magician, double major arcana in the world card. For goodness sake, Libra, you're worthy. I appreciate you guys. Thank you each. We're all the archetypes. Which one are you going to show up as today? You can be this one for that 5 minutes, that one for that half an hour, that one for another half an hour. We're coming into the Libra season. How many different hats can you wear for yourself? You suit yourself as Saturn for the morning frame of mind. Maybe you want to be Venus in the evening frame of mind. Maybe you want to be Saturn in the evening for a little bit too. Maybe you can wear a Saturn and Venetian outfit at the same time. Mix it up. You are the chemistry set. We wear all the hats. That's what Libra teaches us, right? We're not there yet. Be there on Wednesday. Okay, so Scorpio. Woo! Scorpio, you got Venus in your favorite sign of you, but yet you're going through 12th house karmic transits with Mercury as well as Mars, and soon to be joined as well by the Sun in your 12th house. But not yet, because we have a full moon for you guys, Scorpio, and that full moon's in your 5th house. You've got the moon ruling your 9th house. So what you're doing is able to let go of old matriarchal belief systems. It's a saga. It's a saga. Yeah, we're letting go of old belief systems that keep us stuck in the past. And that's our job. It's not something to boo-hoo about, or you could do. That might help, actually, the process. Our tears are our route to salvation. And you're all about the root, aren't you, Scorpio? Can you feel into the root of it all? Can you feel into your roots? Because it's actually through the parents often these things hold us back. It's through the matriarchal line which plays out in the collective that gets us stuck. And yet you can utilize it. You can utilize it. Give it a stir. Stir the pot there, Scorpio. You can utilize it to create for your own enthusiasm, because this is a full moon in your 5th house. And so how can you utilize the value within this opportunity to recreate something and see that there's an opportunity to disengage from that thing? You might find that it's a bit of role play. It's a bit of evolving yourself through your heart's creations. This is a very interesting situation. 5th house is saying, hey, I can go into something, recognize it, and then exchange and then leave. That's very Scorpio. That's going in, and when you're done, you're done. Process it, gain a greater picture for your consciousness, let go of the layers that haven't been serving you, and recognize that we're replaying old, outdated situations. Mars is going to be there in your 12th house until the 30th of October. And this is opening up to see that we are having these multiple different layers come through so that we can re-identify with ourselves. But this means that we have to let go of doubts, delusions, and sometimes this means replaying them, or even going into past traumas, recognizing them, reframing them, and using it for our art. As I said earlier, our art is our honey, and it can be very healing for us. It could be so healing to go and to do a ritual, to be able to really speak our truths and to be with ourselves, to be with our younger selves, to be with our innocent, childlike selves, to be intimate and vulnerable, and to go into our hearts and to create something can bring us so much healing in these times. So Scorpio, very nice for you guys. Channeling a little bit of whatever that was there for you. Cards which we got. Wow, new perspective. Woo! Ace of Swords. As I say, it's about a new identification with regards to how you are narrating. Mercury retrograde in your 12th, won't it? Yes, indeed. I should have called this video Mercury retrograde and full moon. It's not even retrograde for about another week. But like, anyway, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, the same day that the sun goes into Gemini, Libra on the equinox. Mercury's been stationing on the 27th. It is a week. Anyway, so Ace of Swords for Scorpio. This is about a new way of thinking. 12th house Mercury retrograde. Mars, your ruling planet in Libra. All going on in your 12th house. How are you having a personal relationship with your connection? There was a voice before you started talking to yourself. And actually that voice is asking saying, who's going to take the reins here? Who's going to really anchor this communication, this relationship? How are you going to build rapport and have a frequency? Because if you let someone else, the other voice, the other doubts, do the dictating, that's someone else's script. That's outdated. It might be the mother's old script. It might be some other old script from the nationality or something collective, whatever it was. But as you find that you're cutting yourself free, you come into this new opportunity to anchor as the message that's beyond time, the truth that's actually beyond lights and illusion. That's who you are, Scorpio. Goodness gracious me. More air for you. As I say, lots of airy transits, Mercury and your ruling planet Mars in your 12th house. Full moon for you in your 5th house. How can you write about it? How can you talk about it? How can you express what you're experiencing beyond the ether and bring it out, cultivate it in a useful manner that allows you to let go of old emotions, but also enjoy yourself. Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords. Be within your own integrity. Communicate with you. Don't be a bully to you. Be your lover, like no other. KCCD, thank you. I appreciate you. And DV, I'm grateful for you too. As well as the JK Druid. I appreciate you. You're a bunch of brilliant beings. Here we go. Next, we got Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you got the South Node in your 1st house. It's going to be there till the winter solstice. Yeah, 90 more days, the whole of autumn. Letting go of old belief systems. Letting go of old identifications. Letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. And so this is very beneficial. You might even think, if you're a Sagittarius, what was going on back in 2003 or so, the last time the South Node went through your 1st house? How much did you find that you let go of then? How is it like another part of that same frequency which you're able to let you go of? How, if it was not a good time, did you find that it actually helped develop you for what was brilliant and just around the corner? Interesting. You're there for you. That's the most important thing. Jupiter, ruling planets going through Aquarius, your 3rd house. Yes. And so this is very important for you. It actually stations direct the same day as Mercury on the 18th of October, a month from today, at 22 degrees of Aquarius. Goes back into Pisces, where the moon is currently. In the 28th of December. So the full moon in your 4th house, where Jupiter was, is about, okay, I'm letting go of things, letting go of old family things, not only because it's a full moon rules family, but it's in your 4th house. So it's letting go of illusions or idealist situations with regards to family. Okay, and this is for Sagittarius. It's letting go of things about the home, letting go of collective belief systems, the pressure from the collective to do things on the family unit itself is quite big right now. The belief systems, wanted to fit in, wanted to be accepted, you know, all these different things. Thanksgiving, how are we all going to fit in around the table when we've all got these different belief systems, you know, especially in this modern day? Oh my goodness gracious gosh. Don't worry about it. Take a load off. Take a load off of this full moon. Let the emotions wash away. Maybe they clear out some of the wounding. Maybe it will all get clear. If it's not clear now, feel into it. Feeling is our greatest route to cut ourselves free from delusions. All you need to be is present here now. You are the love, and you can be here now. Anytime you go into anxiety, confusions, delusions, all we need to know is what's good enough for right here, right now. Things pan out. Things open up. We can find our course opens up. What's the point worrying about too far down the line when you everything you need is right here, right now? You're fully equipped. And so Sagittarius, the great benefic, you might be feeling more introspective right now, of course, but you know, Venus is coming for you. She's in the 12th house of you right now. It's coming for you, 7th of October. You got this. Okay, and so full moon in your 4th house, mutable sign, mutable energy. What changes are you making, rectifying, altering? Okay, it's a big deal for you. Also, Sagittarius, that the moon rules your 8th house, personal relationships, connections, a massive change, a transmutation of these so that you can honor the identification of your own value. Jupiter is in Aquarius, but it's like Saturn's there too. It's really structuring and supporting. You've got Pluto is going to be stationed in your 2nd house soon on the 6th of October. So it's about whatever changes you let go of, about supporting your sense of identification. And where's the full moon? Anybody playing astrology bingo at home, where is the full moon for Sagittarius? It's the ding, 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 fourth house. So you support your identity. You stand up for yourself. This is your nest. It's about you being able to have a cubby hole, a safe space for you to be able to feel and for you to be able to be real with yourself. A lot of fire going on, obviously. A lot of you being able to be you. You needing space. You needing good boundaries. Set yourself up for success. Let go of anything that excludes that, because you're worthy of no less, right? It's important that you have that space for you. Important that you have your zone. Maybe it's this perfect space that you've got right now, this perfect relationship that you've got going on. 8th house is what the moon rules, but it's about letting go of some illusions so that it can continue. The stable support system which you identify with that gives you the value which you need. Pluto in the 2nd house sextiles this full moon. Transformational changes can bring you greater stability at this time that give you the value that you deserve. 2 wands, 4 wands for Sagittarius, full moon, 28 degrees of Pisces in the 4th house. Lovely stuff indeed. Capricorn, this is the full moon for you. Oh, yes, it is in your 3rd house in Capricorn, in Pisces. 28 degrees, making a sextile to Pluto in your 1st house. Yes, so this is a massive change in your identification with your communication. Maybe you need to put some better boundaries up that sets you up for glory. Maybe you've got some illusions, grandeur about yourself or others due to your own projections or people projecting on upon you, because the moon, well, it's 180 degrees across the way that the moon rules, isn't it, in your 3rd house, where Cancer falls. And so you're letting go of old things, maybe putting up boundaries to save things happening, to maybe you can save others too. I don't know, but this is about peeling away those old layers, these old projections, and learning something, earning something like your own respect and other people's too, being within your own integrity, setting yourself up through a glorious transmutation of whatever you notice the leaks to be there. Anything that's leaky, achy, breaky heart, any illusions or delusions, do away with them by feeling into them and come to a conclusion which isn't denial, but it's actually all-inclusive, compassionate, in a way which is best for you, supportive for you and your community and anybody that you're connecting with, because you love you. And if you second guess you and others, you know that that's not good enough for you. Stand up and keep yourself for those standards that you set, because they really put it into the trajectory of your own value in all areas. It's a metaphysical experience. If you let yourself down with just one thing, like, okay, I'll just have the pizza and the cheese. Sometimes it's okay to have pizza and cheese, but sometimes it's okay to have a PCR test if that's the desperate way you've got to get through some traveling. But there's certain things which you have to decline, certain things that you have to say, I ain't having that. Stand up for yourself and exclude it from your experiences for yourself and for others. Whether it's an interaction that makes you feel depleted, or actually you recognize and you're taking responsibility that something about you makes someone else feel depleted. How can you clean it up so you feel better about you, so they do too? You are worthy. Show the other people that you're worthy. Be an ambassador for love. Be the Saturn that you want to see in the world. Saturn is your ruling planet, retrograde, at 7 degrees of Aquarius in your 2nd house. Be within your own integrity, and you'll find you'll get what is integrally for you manifest into your experiences. Interesting, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Mercury retrograde, 10th house, all that going on. You know the dates. I said you know the dates. The 27th of September, it will station retrograde in a square to your Pluto in your 1st house. You're all about the 10th house. Your role in the world counts. So you show up for you, make the changes that you need to do, make the alterations. You are the buck, and it stops with you, you scallywag. The buck stops with you. And so you are the change that you want to be. Rectify it. You are able. Square yourself up. And also use your spiritual gifts too. You're worthy, Capricorn. What's going on with the cards? Mars rules your 4th house. Things are coming up from a childhood in the workspace. How can you heal them? How can you put them to rest? How can you create a new story? How can you cut yourself free? The Great Benefic says you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are exactly where you're meant to be in this story. This is your story. You are the authority of it. X marks the spot. Very nice for you. Nurture yourself. You are the farthest example of love and your nearest and dearest within you. You don't need to go seeking. You don't need to go pulling. You don't need to go alluring. You're exactly who you want to be. Be there. Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Cups. Support yourself, love yourself from the inside out. You're worthy. Melissa Sue, thank you. I'm grateful for your reflections. Lovely. And Elizabeth Brand, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ruth A. Hey! I heard you, Ruth. Thank you for your presence. I'm grateful. Next, we've got, lastly, Aquarius. Certainly not leastly, you are appreciated, Aquarius. I'm grateful for you. You're all in planet. By gosh, Saturn, it's almost stationed there. It will be. It's at 7 degrees. It's going back to 6 degrees. It will station. And I ain't got that date for you. But it's like, coming along. I'll give you a date. Get it in there. I mean, it's for everybody, isn't it? 3 more weeks. So it's not until we get into the Libra lunar cycle that Saturn will station. And that is actually on the 10th of October, after Venus has gone into Sagittarius and will be sat with the South Node. Saturn stations direct there, and Mercury will still be retrograde. Saturn's the first planet to station direct, and it's happening in Aquarius at 6 degrees. And so you can find you're able to move forward on a lot of things as of that point. Also, Uranus retrograde, of course, in your 4th house. And so this is a big deal for you guys. It's a big deal, but the full moon's in your 2nd house, 28 degrees of Pisces. Oh, yeah. Cut to the chase. Jupiter rules that full moon, and it's in your 1st house. So, you know, Jupiter's going to be going back into your 2nd house in Pisces. It had to come back. We've all had to come back. We all had to make some changes, even if we're not doing the same thing that we thought we were even going to be doing. It's a metaphysical thing what we're doing. We're making changes so that we can live our best lives, not settle for second best, not go looking for some Stockholm syndrome, not look for some kind of ownership, possession scenario, be in a healthy relationship with our sovereignty, our talents, our gifts, our fortune. You are that stuff, the source, the gold inside of you. Why would you want second best? This is your story. Create it with love. Aquarius, this is a full moon for you in your 2nd house. You're worthy of no less. Okay? And so it's happening at 28 degrees. The sun's just finishing its way through your 8th house. Okay. And so, you know, it's coming into what will be the airy time. You know, the sun's going into full, which is your 9th house, and it's the autumn. But we've got a full manifestation of your emotional empowerment. It's like sometimes emotions help us anchor a frequency so we can manifest. This might be a massive completion of something that you've been working towards for some time. The moon, for Aquarius, rules your 6th house. I knew it was about work. It's also maybe something from health could be coming up for your observation, for your awareness that you can let go of. It's like, I needed to come and be present with it and put myself into the position so I could be with it. But now you can. You know what to do. You've got the medicine, the alternative holistic gifts. You don't need to be farmed around, shopping around. You exactly where you need to be. So whatever comes up for you, whether it's work, brilliant opportunities, or whether it's something that needs to be addressed with health, you've got the time to focus on it, because Saturn will be doing its shadow phase until January, right? Big deal. So the full moon that comes up in your 2nd house, it means, oh, I need to meet my value. You've got time to work with it, okay? It's my big point here, okay? And so whatever comes up emotionally, be open about it, be vulnerable about it. The more open that you can be about it, the more that you can help yourself and others, the more the value will go up, the more that you can reassure yourself having a closer relationship with your inner contentment. So the more that you can have a closer relationship with the love that you really do need to receive, because you're full of it. The good stuff, the gold, the molten crystal source that is the love. Feel into it. Be the nurse. Love yourself. You've got the ability to go through with whatever it was and see that it out the other side. Okay? It's very nice. It might be like a dangled carrot. You've got this, but there's things to deal with as well. Emotional situations. Be open. Be vulnerable about it. You will attract all that you need. You're fully resourceful. You are the source. You've got the connections. You are so valuable. People are grateful for you. You are needed. You are appreciated. Okay? Nadine, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for your lovely feedback. That's a full moon in Pisces for you. Goodness gracious. I don't do videos normally this late because that's just the way I'm rolling. It's like kind of like a bit Neptunian, a bit 12th housey, and sometimes we slip, don't we? So be gentle on yourself. It's important that we be gentle with ourselves where you find that you slip. Sometimes we don't often meet the standards. Sometimes we do slip. But that's okay. Just be gentle with yourself, especially this weekend. Weed out the things that you don't want to continue with and then act upon it. You've got the action. You create that traction. Hey, it's your movie. It's your director's cut. You're the star of the show. Be the architect. It's your eye. Who are you shooting? Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You're the whole cast and director. You're the star. Put yourself in the center of that experience, in the center of the stage which you're setting. You set that scene. I'm grateful for you. If you want a personal consultation, get in contact. All the information that you need is in the description box below. I'm very grateful for the connection and the opportunity to serve you. Other than that, thank you, Teresa, Christina, Benefits Boss. I'm grateful for you. Freedom, Sunhawk, you're all awesome. I'm just a reflection. We're a bunch of miracles, we are. Thank you for crystallizing consciousness. We are each a facet. We are each imperatively considered. We are so appreciated. Do you know? Every time that we learn to love ourselves a lot more, the whole of creation loves itself a whole lot more. Thank you for loving yourself. We are the leading fringe of consciousness. Thank you for getting clear on receiving the love straight from your heart. This is what we're practicing. We are the doctors of time. We may have come from outside of this time. It might be uncomfortable. It might be a squeeze. But this is the place where creation takes the most prominence. We're the seeders. We're the gardeners. We are the change we seek. It starts here and it blossoms on out. Your radiance, it counts. Your beauty incarnate in the flesh. Thank you for being you. I'll speak to you again. Cheerio for now. Debbie Ruth. You are appreciated. You are all so dearly appreciated. Have a fantastic full moon.